Looky, looky here. Looky what I have. I have some new brushes. Surprise, surprise. Who's surprised? Absolutely no one. Today we are talking about Wayne Goss brushes, his newest release, the first edition brushes. I'm super excited to make a video about these brushes. I have lots and lots of makeup brushes, you guys. I don't think anybody who knows me is surprised to hear this, but I'm a makeup lover, and along with loving makeup comes finding the right tools, and then of course, as there are high-end makeup products, there are high-end makeup tools, and Fude brushes fall into that category for me anyway. Fude brushes are handmade brushes. Usually we're talking about handmade in Japan. For those of you who don't know, Wayne Goss is an amazing makeup artist, and he has his own makeup line, and he has made Fude brushes. Unfortunately, I became addicted to Fude when Wayne Goss brushes were like, couldn't find them anywhere. I don't know if they were discontinued or just out of stock. I really don't know the status of his brushes, though he did make a video, and in the video he said it's all coming back. I don't know what that means, Wayne. Does that mean that your previous brush designs are coming back too? We want to know, okay? We want to know. Please tell us this information. But in this video, here's what we're talking about. I'm going to give you a breakdown of the release. I am going to show you the brushes I got and a little demo of each one, how I used it. And then I'm going to show you some comparisons to other brushes I have in my collection. If that sounds appealing to you, please keep on watching. Also, I will have timestamps down below if you want to jump ahead to a certain brush. Say you're only interested in the large crease brush, for example, you can just jump ahead to that section. Okay, let's get into it. So first off, I want to give you information just about the set in general. This information I'm getting from Beautylish. And that's a good point, as I bought these brushes with my own money. I bought them from Beautylish. It's not a sponsored video. I mean, Wayne Goss, if you want to sponsor me, hi, I volunteer, please. But this is not a sponsored video. The first edition brushes, the creme de la creme of brushes, new eye and face brushes, handmade in Japan with top-tier materials, craftsmanship, and a bespoke design only Wayne Goss could create. Sold as sets and individually. So there's an entire set, 11 brushes, or you can get just the face brushes, that's 5 brushes, or just the eye brushes, that's 6 brushes. We can see here that we have a matte black brass ferrule, and we have a wood handle. On the front there is the logo. On the back we have the name of the brush, and I really like that. I like being able to know what brush this is. Every brush is made from undyed Saikoho goat hair, uncut undyed Saikoho goat hair, and Saikoho goat is in reference to the quality of the hairs and the softness of the hairs. And honestly, I don't really care if it's Sokoho or Saikoho or Saibikoho. There's other grades and names too. I just care, is she soft? Okay, is she soft? Yes. She is soft. They are all soft. They are soft, okay? They're really probably one of the softest goat hair, undyed, uncut goat hair brushes that I have. Of course, can't compete with Silver Fox, can't compete with Gray Squirrel. You know, goat hair is never going to be as soft as those other types of hairs, so keep that in mind. So first up, I have the F1 brush. This is the angled cheek brush. And I am a sucker for this brush shape. Oh my gosh, let me tell you. I love it because it's so easy to use with the angles of your face. I'm going to show you a demo of me using this with blush. And that's really what I'm going to be using this brush for, is blush. I love this. I love to just be able to, you can tap it on, you can sweep, you can turn it on its side and do some highlighter action if you want. I don't really use highlighter. And then you can turn it upside down and you can use it for bronzer or contour if you want. I could see myself doing that sometimes. But oh my gosh, this brush is very soft, very heavenly, very well made. If we look here at the hairs, I love how the angle is. It's perfectly sized for my cheek, not too big, not too small, and you can just tap, 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 sweep it up. You can really, it's a pleasure to use this brush. Absolutely love it. So let me show you some comparisons to other brushes I have in my collection. Because I love this brush, this type of angle, I have a few. I have more than a few. But today I'm not going to show you any custom brushes. I'm just going to show you the ones where you can find them at retailers if they're not sold out. So the first one I have to show you, I bought from Bobo. Let me pull it up so I can get the name right. I'm going to get it wrong. Okay, I'm going to mispronounce it. It is the Koyudo Yashabushisome. Yashabushisome? Maybe I got it. This beauty right here. Okay, so this handle is very different. You can see there's the beautiful red handle. And it has a Raiden Sakura design. And you can see the petal here, depending on how the light hits it. I might not be able to get it right here. Let me find the camera. Ooh, 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 did you see it? Did you see it? Yeah, focus on the handle. Anyways, it is a very decorative handle, and it has this squared off shape that Koyudo often does. This is also a dyed goat hair brush. It's the same grade, it's Saikoho goat, but it is dyed Saikoho goat. So you see how these bristles are gray as opposed to the F1 is white. It isn't because it's a different type of hair, it's because it has been dyed. So the shape of the face is a little bit different. You can see it's kind of a round face, whereas this one, you know, it kind of spreads out. It's a little bit bigger. So when you look at the faces of these brushes, they have a little bit of a different shape to it. But when you look at it from the side, boy, they are so similar. Similar height, similar width, similar thickness. Let me get them going the same way. And so, do you need both of these brushes? I don't think so. I don't think you need both of these brushes. So if you already have the Yashabushisome, you know, you've got this angle already, and it covers a similar area of your face. Now, softness. Let's feel here. Okay, this is this soft. I think I might have to give it to Wayne on the softness, but they're both super soft. It's not like the Koyudo is not soft. And on my face, which probably matters more, yeah, I think I have to give it to Wayne on the softness. So here's a similar brush. The other one I have to compare to is this beauty. This is also made by Koyudo. It's the Koyudo Yoshiki Silver Fox brush. In fact, this might have some blush on it at the moment. Sorry about that. But this is made of Silver Fox. So you can see that the hairs are different. The Silver Fox gives you, you know, that silver coloring, and it always has that beautiful, pretty gradient where it's kind of white at the base, and then we see that nice dark color coming through. So here is the size comparison. Now the F1 splays out bigger, but when we look at the ferrules are really similar here, similar in width. In thickness, the F1's probably a little bit thicker. You can see it's just a tad bigger, but the height of the bristles is very similar. The splay's a little bit different, and the softness is different. You know, Silver Fox is definitely a little bit softer than Goat. But I do like that I have these two different hair types in my collection. So I like having Silver Fox and I like having Goat. Then the last one I have to compare this F1 to is this guy. This I also got from Foodie Bobo, the website foodiebobo.com. And this is a collaboration with Chikuhodo and Foodie Bobo. So it's like Chikuhodo Bobo collaboration cheek brush, I think it's called. And this is a combination of gray squirrel and goat. And oh boy, she is soft. She's really soft. So you can see this is a smaller brush. The F1 is definitely bigger, but very similar in height, and the handle's different. You know, there's the pretty decorative handle with the Chikuhodo Bobo collab cheek brush. It's like the Year of the Rabbit design, and it also has some iridescence in there depending on how the light, you see how the light hits the, is that a moon? I don't know. And that royal blue coloring. Initially, what's so funny is I wasn't attracted to this brush because of the gold ferrule. I'm really not a big fan of gold. But this is sort of like a champagne gold. It isn't really an in-your-face gold like the Bisyodo. See that difference in gold? But anyways, I digress. We are talking about Wayne Goss. So in softness, this is softer than the goat just because of the hair types, but honestly it's not by much, okay? It's just that the gray squirrel is in here, and the gray squirrel is a little softer than goat. So if you have any of these other brushes, I really don't think that you need the F1 because they're gonna do the same functionality. And did I need all of these? No, but I do like having the different hair types, and I like having my angled cheek brush family. So I really am not regretting getting the F1 at all. And I do think that the design is beautiful in its own merit. Like this sleek black look with the white handle. Ooh, I love the look of the handle. I do like the aesthetics of this. I feel like having the matte ferrule and the shiny handle, just, it's very classy, very classy. I am going to go through the next couple of brushes I decided not to purchase. Okay, the F2 cheek brush, I decided to skip that one. This shape just didn't attract to my makeup application style. The F3 powder brush, I did decide to pick up. So this is described as one of Wayne's personal favorites. This fluffy powder brush with a tapered tip was designed for bronzer and all over powder application without moving the other products on your face. I love this angle here. Okay, I love it. It makes it so multifunctional having this angle, because you can use it for powder. Sure. You can, you can roll, you can tap the powder, but also because of the angle, you can do some blush, you can do some bronzer, you can sweep, really soft. And when I think about powder brushes, it's pretty small in comparison to the other powder brushes I have. So for example, this is what I kind of think of when I think of a powder brush, and this is the F3. So a lot smaller in comparison, but that is not a bad thing. In fact, this is probably the brush I have the least amount of comparisons with, because I don't really own many this size. So I'm really happy to have this in my collection. Okay, next up is the F4 foundation brush. I elected to not get this. I have several foundation brushes that I'm really happy with, so I thought, even though this was probably one of the most unique shapes in this collection, I thought it might be a little bit redundant for my brush collection. Then the F5, the long blusher brush. Now I really thought long and hard about this, because I have nothing like this. I have nothing like this in my collection. He showed using it to apply a light dusting of powder in targeted areas. And he showed it using really highly pigmented blushes on the cheeks because, you know, it's so long, it's going to have a feather light touch. Currently it is not sold out on Beautylish. I don't know. I may pick this up. I may not. You know, I need another brush, like I need a hole in the head. But getting a unique brush is tempting. Okay, next up we are going to get into the eye brushes. And you guys, I decided to get the whole eye set because eyeshadow is my jam. Okay, so first up we have the E1. This is the large eyeshadow brush. The ultimate multitasker, precisely blend with its flat side, blend all over with the larger side, or use it to transition in between shades. So here is the brush. And it's a big eyeshadow brush. Here's the thickness. And it is so soft. Oh, so soft. Definitely happy to have this brush in my collection. So I tried to use this for a few different tasks. I used it to set my eye primer. So it did a pretty good job at that. Then once I had some color down, I used it to kind of blend things out and I tried to like marry the colors together so I have a nice gradient of color, and it worked really well at that. And then I used it for some targeted setting powder for my under eyes because you see, you know, it's kind of big. It's kind of perfect for the under eyes. It's a small setting powder brush, but it's a big eye brush, and so I thought maybe I could use it for this. I have this big crease here, and I always have concealer collect in that crease because, you know, it's a crease in my face. And so I thought if I could really get in there with this brush, maybe it could help prevent creasing. And let's do a check. Do I have creasing? I don't see any creasing. I don't see any creasing. So I was pretty pleased with the different uses that I came up with for this brush today. Some comparisons I have for you. I have two. Here is the Rougher 33 brush. They are not the same. Okay, so you can see that this one has sort of a different shape, the Rougher 33. This one's a lot more rounded. And then, of course, the E1 is a lot thicker. Look at that. I mean, the E1 is a lot thicker. But when I was thinking about big eye brushes that are kind of good for one and done all over eyeshadow application, the Rougher 33 came to mind. And they have a similar vibe, you know, the all black, you know, pro type look, professional makeup artist look. And then the other big eye brush I have in my collection is the Chikuhodo Kazan KZ-06. So I just wanted to show these together. Now again, different shape. The Chikuhodo Kazan brush is a lot more organized. You know, those hairs don't splay out as much as the E1. But they are kind of similar. They're kind of similar in size. So I just, you know, wanted to give you a sense. If you have this, then you know what to expect with the E1. Maybe one more comparison. So another brush that I use for some of those same functions is the Rougher 36 brush. Now this is a very different shape. So it is not the same shape. But, you know, just as a comparison, they kind of take up the same amount. They kind of have a similar length and width, but the Rougher 36 has a different shape. Okay, next up is the E2. This is the small crease brush. A crease brush with a pointed tip to precisely apply eyeshadow, connect the upper and lower eye corner at the same time, or do crease work. So let's check this guy out. I really love the shape of this brush. I really love the size. I love that it has the pointed tip. It is very soft, and this is post-wash, post-bloom, and it still comes to that point. So pretty impressed that that pointed tip is still there. In previous brushes I had, and in fact, I'm going to show this one in a second, but this one, when I got it, it came with a really exaggerated point, and then once I washed it and dried it, it kind of got more rounded. So again, pretty impressed that that point stayed post-wash. I loved using this for detail work. So with this kind of a shape, you know, you can put the point in your crease and sort of work it like this. Wayne Goss was talking about using this for hooded eyes, which I have, and being able to get some detail going and cover the hood with color, and being able to be really precise with that point. But the other thing the point does, that's just that taper of bristles, is it helps to blend things. It helps to blend and shear things out so that you have more pigment here and a nice gradient and less pigment as you get up around the eyebrow. E2, comparisons. What do I have to show you? I have the Koyudo Silver Fox small eyeshadow brush with the Momiji Makie design. Okay, I think I pronounced all those things correctly, but probably I made some mistakes. But this is with Silver Fox. So, these guys are almost identical. The E2 is a little bit longer. You can see that point goes up a little bit higher. But the ferrule is the same. They both have a round ferrule. The hair tapers up to a point, and very similar brushes. This is just for comparison. This is not exactly the same, but just in case you have this one, the Refer 26, again, not exactly the same. This is more like a really big pencil brush. And this is not, you know, I wouldn't call the E2 a pencil brush in any way, shape, or form. Next up is the E3, the large crease brush. And I really, really love this brush. So it's another crease brush that has a point. Let me read the description on Beautylish. A larger crease brush for crease work or detailed eyeshadow application. Bonus, doubles as a concealer brush. So again, this is post-wash, post-bloom, and that point is there. You know, that point did not soften out. This is really a useful brush. I you know, having hooded eyes, I'm always trying to find smaller brushes to like be able to get some detail in with my eyes. But I do have relatively larger eyes when you look at the space I have from my eyebrow to my eyelashes. They're hooded, but they're big. And so this brush, to be able to tuck that point in my crease and get a nice gradient, a nice blend, this worked so perfectly. And then I tried turning it on its side to, again, get some color over that hood. The way Wayne Goss showed worked perfectly. You know, you can do this action. I like to get some blending going underneath the eye. This just perfect eyeshadow brush in every way, shape, or form. My other favorite eyeshadow brush is the Refer 27. Totally different shape. Okay, totally different shape. But I love having these different shapes so that, you know, you can explore and have different ways of blending the color on your eyes. Okay, I have lots of comparisons for the E3. This guy. So this came from the same set as this. And it's that word. Wait. Yashabushisome. Yashabushisome. I have to read it in front of me. So these are very similar. The ferrules are the same size, but the E3 is going to be taller. you see how that's a little bit taller. But very similar in the ferrule size and kind of similar shape. Of the two, I definitely prefer the E3 of these two because I like just that added height. I like having that point exaggerated. I have another one. It's another Koyudo Silver Fox Momiji Makie, you know, that lots of words to describe this set. Similar ferrule size, silver fox. Okay, so it's a different hair type, and this one definitely has the exaggerated point. I do really like this brush a lot, though. This set, this silver fox Koyudo Momiji set, they're really nice eyeshadow brushes. And then one last maybe two comparisons. What do I have here? Okay, I do have a Chinese manufacturer in the mix. This is a QLG brush, and this is the Chinese manufacturer. Where's the front? Here we go. You can see there's an engraving QLG. I'm going to have the name across the screen, but I'm going to mispronounce it, so I don't even want to attempt it and totally botch it. In fact, she's currently making a custom order for me as we speak. But this is available on her storefront, so I will have it linked below. And so you can see this is very, very similar. This is red squirrel, and this is goat. So different hair type. But the point is there. The point is there in the QLG red squirrel brush. It's not maybe as exaggerated, but this is a lot denser. It has a lot more hairs packed in, and it is a lot softer being red squirrel. It is amazing, amazing brush. Highly recommend. Okay, next up we have the E4. And this is described as the Laydown brush. It says on Beautylish, a standard laydown brush perfect to use on the eyelids for brow highlight or to contour the outer corner of the eye. So here we have it. You can see it is pretty thin, small, flat, like I would call it like a packer brush. So I will show the demo on how I use this today. I used it mostly to get my shimmer across my lid. Also, I tried my hand at using it under the on the lower lash line. But you know, multi-purpose, sort of basic brush. You could use it to carve out under your eyebrows. I think I used it a little bit in the inner corner. Again, you can use it on the lower lash line. You can use it to pack down the darker color on your outer lid. So definitely a multi-use brush. And let me show you some comparisons just in case you have these other brushes. This is the Refer 2 brush. The regular, not the Max or the Mini, just the 2. So here it is. And the shape is slightly different. You know, you can see this is a little more square and this has a little more of a rounded top. But they're both pretty much the same height and width in terms of the ferrules. So very, very similar brushes. Do you need both? No. I would say you don't need both. I would say the Wayne Goss is softer. But it's, you know, it's not by much. It's not by much. And then the other one I have for you here is the Chikuhodo J004. Maybe it's also called B004. Sometimes the J's and the B's get changed. And so this one is slightly bigger than the E4. Just ever so slightly. You can see it's a little bit taller. But similar kind of function. You know, similar width. The thickness is similar, it's just a little, the height is a little bit taller. So if you have this brush, you don't need this brush. If you have the Refer 02, you don't need this brush. But this is a useful brush. Of course, you know, I have it a couple times over, so it is a very useful brush. And I don't mind having more than one because I could say, oh, this one is for shimmers, this one is for dark colors on the outer corner. and this one is for the lower lash line. You know, I can, and having them in rotation when you're cleaning them, it always comes in handy to have an extra. Okay, next up we have the E5. This is the detail brush. Another one of Wayne's favorites. This pencil brush features slightly longer bristles that can be used to apply highlighter or transform the upper and lower lids. So this is a pencil brush. Not all pencil brushes are created equal. Today I did use it for the lower lash line, and I used it for the inner corner, to highlight the inner corner. That's what I love to use these brushes for, is to highlight the inner corner. I have seen some people use it to kind of carve out the shape of eyeshadow they want to make. You know, you can just kind of have a outline of the design you're going for, the shape you're going for, and then blend and add more color, whatever. I've seen some people use these types of brushes to add some dimension in the center of the eyelid, like a halo eye effect. You could also, of course, use this to highlight underneath the brow bone, just add some color right there. So very useful to have a good pencil brush. And I have some comparisons for you. So again, with this set, you'd think I got it down by now, but I've got to read it. Yashabushisome set. This was a 3-brush set. And it is, again, the dyed goat, but it's almost identical in the ferrule size and the height. Maybe the Wayne Goss one is a titch taller, but it is very, very small. So this one is very similar. Then we have another Koyudo with a similar type word, Kakishibuzome. I'm mispronouncing it for sure. Okay, it's this one. It's this one. And you can see that these are similar in the ferrule size, but definitely this is a dyed goat. This one is taller and a little bit more mobile in the movement. You can see that there's lots of movement here. I mean, there's movement here too, but because it's taller, that there's more hair length, more give to this brush. And then just for comparison, it's not really the same. I have the Refer 03 brush. So you can see that this guy is skinnier and taller. Love this brush. I'm definitely happy to have another pencil brush in my collection. Did I need it? Probably not. You know, probably not. So, so there's some comparisons to the E5. Okay, last but not least, I have the E6, and this is called the Small Tight Brush. It says, another multitasker, use this one as a push liner brush, great for hooded eyes, as it pushes color right into the lashes without taking away any eyelid space. Bonus, also doubles as a brow or lip brush. Look at how teeny this brush is. Come on, let's focus. Look at this teeny tiny guy. I don't have any brushes like this. I loved watching Wayne's demonstration of how he used this to just darken up the eyelash line. And even if you do nothing else, no other makeup, it just kind of takes your look to a whole new level. Just have some dimension in your eyes to darken up the lash line. If I show this next to the pencil brush, you can see how tiny it is. And the other thing is that it is stiff, okay? It is stiff, and this was by design because he wanted to have some ability to put pressure in there and just pack in that color on the lash line. So I could appreciate the functionality of the stiffness, but it was kind of ouchy, okay, in my opinion. Again, this could be user error because I don't have many brushes like this in my collection. So there's a learning curve, right? You got to learn how to use these brushes. But this, ooh, this hurt a little bit. And so I don't know. I'm going to practice with it some more to see if with some finesse it can be a better experience. But it worked really well. This is how I applied my eyeliner today. I'll show you the demo if I haven't already. But ouchie. And then the other thing too is that I blinked when I pushed it in. I moved my eye, so it ended up making the eyeliner a little bit thicker. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think this eyeliner thickness is totally fine. I have no brushes to compare this one to because I don't have anything like this in my collection, so I don't have any comparisons for you on this one. All right, so what do I think about the brushes I purchased? I am in love with the F1 because I love this shape so much. Obviously, I have several of other brushes in this shape, and I love it that I have one in undyed white goat, and I am going to use the heck out of this brush. And I do love the F3 powder brush. I am definitely going to use the heck out of this brush. And then my other favorites were the crease brushes. So these four are my favorites of the brushes that I bought. So I'm super happy to have these brushes in my collection. Absolutely. I think that the goat hair is very soft, and I'm happy with the quality and the craftsmanship. The bundling looks really great. And by bundling, what I mean is that sometimes there's some hairs sticking out. They're not all even. And so the bundling is perfect. There's not a hair sticking out of place. I mean, down here, this is just hairs that are splaying. They're not like sticking out and not aligned with the other brushes. So the bundling was really done well, and the craftsmanship of the handles was really done well. They look very sleek. They look very professional. So I'm super happy with the craftsmanship, and for the price, I think this is a really good set. I am looking forward, though, to Wayne Goss releasing some other hairs other than the undyed goat hairs. These are the two from his previous releases that I was able to secure on a used websites. And so I have Wayne Goss, the Air brush, and this is the O2 brush. They're both gray squirrel or blue squirrel, whatever you want to call it. And oh my goodness, goat's not going to beat squirrel. It's just not going to beat squirrel in softness and that luxury experience. And the unique shape, this brush, I love this shape, and there's no other brush like it. So, I'm really looking forward to future releases. Do I think you need to run out and buy the entire set? No. I think you should get the shapes that align with your makeup application style, and I think you should get the shapes that call out to you. But I don't think you need to get the pencil brush. I don't think you need to get the Laydown brush if you already have these types of brushes in your collection. I think you should pick and choose which ones make sense to add, as opposed to just buying the full set. Now at this point, with the stock and with the supply, I don't know if you have that luxury of picking and choosing. You may only be able to get it by buying the full set. You guys, so excited to talk about brushes today. More Fude videos are coming. I want to make a QLG video. I want to make a Shushuling video, a Hakuhodo video, Chikuhodo. Tell me what you want to see. Would you rather see cheek brushes, my favorites, Would you rather see best of Chikuhodo, like best of brand? Would you like to see a full face of Fude, like all the brushes I use to make, do my face in a day? Tell me what you want to see, and I am happy to make more videos. I hope this was helpful in deciding if you want to buy some of the new Wayne Goss brushes. Did you pick any up? What do you think? Do you like the softness? Do you like the functionality? Do you wish you got more? Do you wish you skipped it? I want to know.